Yeah. You're beautiful, John. Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to the Cruise Amigos. And we got the old fat guy here in Virginia,
Hey, Tom.
and we got Amigo John, who's up there in Nanook of the Northland in Crookston, Minnesota, and then we've got Amigo. What? Amigo, what's the other guy's name?
Martino.
Oh yeah,
It's the
Amigo
Italian,
Martino,
the
the
Italian
Italian
cruise stallion.
Amigo Martino,
Yes.
who is in Italy.
He's
You
in
know,
it. He is the Italian stallion of travel agents today.
the Italian stallion. Okay, well, we'll call him that. He's also puny. He's the puny Italian stallion of travel agents today, who has a coat in his nose.
He does not help the sugar industry at all. You know, he is not a supporter of my profit center.
Uh, your beets
Yeah.
or your
Yeah.
pot? Which one?
No, there's sugar. He's not
Sure.
he's not, he doesn't eat enough sugar. He needs to double or triple his sugar intake.
Well, he's kind of skinny.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why he's not eating sugar. That's what I'm trying to lead up to. He's not helping me.
So, Amigo John, what's happening up here? And is it?
Oh man,
Is there 85 feet of snow on the ground?
There's 12 more inches coming next week.
Nice.
There's a storm coming
Easter
tomorrow
week
night.
storm.
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll be in the middle of the week, but yes. And Ronnie's sister is flying in to, help with the baby and things like these women do,
Yeah.
But her plane literally lands at the peak of the storm.
Oh, that's always
So,
that's always good timing.
Will it happen? Will they let her? She's flying Berlin to Brussels, Brussels to Chicago, Chicago to Fargo. So, hopefully they won't even let her get on the plane in Berlin if they aren't what?
The chances of her getting here is like
in the middle of 12 inches snowstorm.
9 to 5.
But hopefully, what I'm saying is I hope they don't, push her through even to Chicago and then say, "Oh, you're stuck here for 3 days."
Stuck here for a week. Yeah, that would suck.
It'd be better if she could just come right. So he's found every contingency. We have every possible. It's almost like we're doing an ops, a black ops program, to save the president. Okay, if we get her to Chicago and they won't fly, then this is what we got to do to get to the train. To Minneapolis. If the flight diverts to Minneapolis, then this is what we're going to do. And I mean, it's like this multi-layer. It's practically a manifesto of what we're going to do to make sure that we get everybody here in a good stead. So more than a travel agent. I'm more than a travel agent.
It is BST now. That probably also confused Martin as well, because they changed clocks this week, like we changed clocks.
But does all of Europe then? Do they change in sequence, or is part of Brexit the fact that we run our own time here? Have a cup of tea.
Brexit says no. It's British summertime.
British summertime, but what is it?
We don't care if it's in Luxembourg. Okay. It's still British summertime.
Computer.
That's like Greenwich
what's the time in England, London, England, right now?
It's 5 o'clock.
Okay. Computer. What's the time in Berlin, Germany, right now?
It's 5 o'clock.
It's 6:30 in Berlin.
So, 5:30. Oh, it's an hour difference in Berlin.
Well, but they always are. I mean, that's normal. See,
that's normal.
Berlin is one.
Okay, so
minus.
That's normal time. Yeah.
Yeah, or no, 1 plus. Berlin is 1 plus. We're 6 minus. Yeah, that's right.
Oh God, there we go with that.
No. Think of it. We're 6 minus, or I am. You're 5 minus, because if it's midnight, then you go 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. You go 5 minus. But Berlin is 1 plus. It's the other side of the Greenwich mean line, the radial. That's the where you can straddle the. There's a place in.
I have to admit, I did make a mistake
Okay.
on my notice to Martin this morning. I did put GMT. I did not put BST.
But Greenwich Mean Time and BST are the same.
It should be,
At
but
any given
he
moment.
would use that as an excuse to be confused.
I thought he was in Italy. Didn't you just tell me he's in Italy?
No, you're the one that said he was.
Oh, yes. I said that he was playing the Italian stallion. By the way, our condolences go out for the Pope. You know, the Pope is seriously in the hospital for many days. They're saying it's going to be many days. And that's unfortunate. I wish him well.
That was
Not
the first
COVID,
thing I
yeah.
asked because it sounded like my symptoms a lot.
But it is respiratory, they said. It is
respiratory. Yeah.
But he's 86 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, he even makes you look young. So, you know.
Well, sort of. He doesn't make me feel young.
We got to get you a Pope mobile. That's what we need to get you.
Well, no, that's a good possibility. It's a Cruise Life is with us. How you doing? Nikki's here. Kenneth's
Everybody's here. All the good people are here.
People coming in now. Okay, so bringing everybody up to date on my situation. Yeah.
Let's get a good
left
picture.
You guys on the Cruise Amigos last week. The last thing I said was, "Gee, guys, I'm really feeling pretty good after doing the show today." That was after I had tested positive. I was coughing like a fool, but I actually felt good after clowning around with Martin and John last week. I felt a little bit up as opposed to being down. I already knew that I was going to have to cancel the cruise. What I didn't know was in the next 8 or 9 hours, I would come close to dying. I went through 2 nights, 48 hours. That I don't know. It's just I don't know any way of saying it, folks. I would have welcomed death.
He quacked up. That's what he did. He quacked up.
How ill I became, how bad I was coughing, how much I struggled for literally every breath I could get. It was freaking awful. I couldn't wait
for that.
until I talked to my doctor to say, "Doc, get me to the freaking hospital to do something." Just as quick. I mean, as bad as I went down the sewer, I popped back up. I mean, yeah, I'm still weak, folks. I'm not ready to travel. Okay? I admit that. But, I mean, I've got 4 days now that I've gotten better every day. Yeah, I still cough. And I could cough for another 30 days, the doctor tells me. That sometimes that just stays and stays and stays. But, man, it's just, wow.
You look good. You sound good, and you even have a real live shirt on today. So you got 3 points going.
I do. Yeah.
3 points. Yeah. Hey, Rich.
So sorry to hear you were sick. Miss our adult beverages together. Yes, indeed, Rich. It's good to see you again, my friend. Rich was on the Zandam with me.
Is that him?
We spent a lot. Well, no, not really. Okay. But we spent a lot of time drinking some Bullet Bourbon. Bullet Bourbon. That was the drink of choice on the Zandam because it was the closest to my Elijah Craig. And quite frankly, Rich was involved through this when I started the middle of that cruise, started that dry hacking cough. So
now, where would you be today if you hadn't got sick? Where would you be literally right now at this moment?
I would be in the car on my way to Miami.
Oh, so the cruise wouldn't have started yet. It was just happening here. So.
My next cruise was supposed to be Saturday.
Okay.
On the Caribbean Princess with our friend Kevin, 30 and a Wake Up. Kevin, by the way, is going to be on the show Monday because that ship, which we were supposed to be on together, will be in Cozumel. And my plan had been the best laid plans of fat travel men. My plan was to have been to take Kevin out to lunch off the boat. You know, he stays on the ship a lot in port.
Me too.
I was going to take Kevin to lunch to meet Elizabeth on location.
And so you could have showed him the place where you actually tipped over the scooter.
Oh yeah, we could have gone. We could have gone to No Name Bar.
Yeah, I understand. There's a little memorial there, like people bring flowers, and you know, you would think that Princess Di died or something with all the little memorial they did for Chili's scooter flip there.
Yeah, that was the first of 2 scooter flips.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, unfortunately, that's a true story. But anyway, Kevin and I are going to celebrate what we could have been doing. But now, in complete honesty, yeah, I'm not ready to travel yet.
Yeah.
So, some people, folks, Kevin has had COVID several times. Nate's had COVID like 5 times.
Oh.
And for them, it's been like, you know, colds or a flu. I mean, there's a lot of people that can say, oh, it's turned into nothing. Yeah, well, I tell you what, it wasn't nothing for me this week. It was hell. I mean, total hell. And so don't get complacent like I did. I felt so comfortable on cruise ships. I got to the point I didn't worry about any of the sensible things. And I till to this day, I can't prove when I got it because I go back from when I flew from Baltimore. Some of you will remember this. I flew from Baltimore to Fort Lauderdale, and the kid puked all over me on the plane. Now, I get to Fort Lauderdale, and then we go through the whole fiasco with my phone, and I get on the cruise ship without my phone because of the Uber driver, and we had John got involved, Nate got involved, all these people got involved to eventually rescue my phone and have it set up so I could, in fact, get the phone back when I got back to Fort Lauderdale after the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole fiasco and the pressure that put me under, because I'm going on my bucket list cruise of the year, Panama Canal for the first time, full transit. I got no phone. I can't film anything. I can't.
Yeah, no phone means no camera, no video, no communicate. I mean, it's more than no phone. Yeah. If it was just your phone, but you were just SOL.
Yeah. All right. So that added to my mental capacity at the same time. 6 days after the kid pukes on me, I developed this little nagging cough.
You should have puked right back.
Now, I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel bad at all. Then I get into San Diego and I have to go through the 12 hours layover in San Diego airport. Then I take the red eye to Fort Lauderdale. I get my phone back at 10 o'clock that morning, have another 12-hour layover in Fort Lauderdale, get on another plane and fly to Baltimore, and thank God for Hot Air Tom, who put me up in a hotel, because he says, there's no way you're going to be able to drive to Virginia after what you've been through. So I went to the hotel and stayed the night, got up the next day and drove home and was coughing worse.
And you know the song Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells, Jingle all the way.
Yeah.
Well, it was Jingle Bells, Chili's coughing all the way.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And then I tested positive.
But you're looking good now.
So
you know. When is that group going to Alaska again? Well, we would be happy for you to join us on the 28th of August in Anchorage. We're going to have ground parties first. We're going to have 2 days of ground parties. Then on the 30th of August, we get on the train, the choo-choo train, for about a 2.5-hour slow choo-choo ride from Anchorage down to Whittier in the port. And then where the train stops at the train station in Whittier, it's literally the train tracks, a highway, and it's the cruise port. So it's like 1,212 feet from the door of the train to the door of the ship. And that's the cruise port in between. And then the cruise leaves out on the 30th. It's a 7-night cruise, so we land in Vancouver on the 7th. I am flying Vancouver, Seattle, Denver, Fargo. I'm using miles, and that's how they routed me. I was hoping to be able to fly like, you would think there would have been a direct Vancouver to Denver or Vancouver to Minneapolis or something, but no. So, and I've always said I will not fly through Denver. Every time I do, I regret it. So, the only beautiful thing about it is I'll be heading home. So they'll have a suitcase of dirty laundry, if nothing else. So. Oh, by the way, Chili, big news.
Okay.
On the ship that we're on, there's 2 laundromats on every cabin floor.
Oh, nice.
So I'm figuring my entire wardrobe's going to fit in a Walmart shopping bag.
Yeah. Because you can wash every other day.
Yeah.
Oh, how many quarters would you have to take?
Well, and that was my question, folks. Do you know on the Princess line, we're on the Princess Sapphire, how does the laundromat work? Do you use your crew cabin card, or do you have to have quarters along for it? Or someone please tell me, because I'm going to try and do this as a minimalist cruise for me. I'm going to try and be in my carry-on.
That sounds kinky.
Well,
John,
yes,
the minimal
and that's going to be. It's just going to be a G-string on my finger. That's going to be my picture for this cruise. I'm on a minimalist cruise, and I'm just going to have a G-string on my finger, but no, seriously though, I'm going to try and do the cruise because when I fly, I'm in a suit because I'm always flying. Fortunately, thank you God for the blessings of the universe. I get to fly in the front of the plane. And so I will be wearing a suit, and so that will be my nighttime go-to-dinner suit.
Yeah.
And I'll have 2
dresses better than I do on a cruise.
I will have, 2 blue jeans. I will have one, maybe a blue jean and a khaki. I'll have, like 10 underwear, which can roll up really tight, 10 pair of socks, 5 T-shirts. Well, but less now, maybe. If people can tell me how to do the laundry on Princess, I might carry even less. So between my carry-on and then I have a computer bag that the airplanes have approved, but my computer doesn't take 1/4 of the bag space. So I can put most of my undergarments in my computer bag. So I should be good.
Underwear and chargers.
Yes, and chargers, yes.
But you got to make sure that the right thing gets plugged. Never mind.
Okay, so Tom says, who wants to spend time in a laundry? What's SMH mean? Since my heart, still making hay. I love the free bags we get for latitude. Yes, on NCL, I always do 2 loads on a cross country or a cross ocean 36-day cruise, 8 bags to laundry for free. Yeah. SMH. What does SMH mean, folks? Now here, this message from Kenneth. Last time when we were on the Ruby, the laundry was free. Wow.
Oh.
That would be nice.
Oh. Well, now that would be, then you wouldn't have to have quarters or the card.
Okay, it means shaking my head. So who wants to spend time in a laundry shaking my head? Oh. Hey, it's just like on Amtrak back in the smoking days. I'm not a smoker. I'm totally against smoking. I hate being around smoking. But if you're on an Amtrak train and it's 3 a.m, the smoking car was the place to be. I'm telling you, all the crusty guys mostly and gals with good stories and years of practice in telling them, and almost every one of them had a little stainless steel flask in their
the little tipping.
pocket, and they were, but I'm telling you, I had trouble sleeping on Amtrak overnights because I was just down there listening to these stories and going, my life sucks. Because my life does not suck, but at the time, this was, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And anyway, shake my head. I didn't know SMH means shake my head.
See, folks, you learn something new all the time on the Cruise Amigos.
I wonder what else it can stand for.
So, anyway, the Cruise Amigos -1. So that's going to be, seems like that happens more often than we like to talk about.
Yeah, everybody says it stands for shaking my head.
Okay, I didn't know that either. So, but then I'm kind of dumb. So
well,
I admit
you're
that.
so old.
Yeah.
Are you going to the coronation? Did you get an invite? There's 2,000 people going to be in the church.
Yeah, no.
No, but there's only 125 that actually get to go to the party.
Maybe that's where Martin is.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Kissing the Queen's, no, the King's, never mind.
Ring.
Yes.
Or in the case of the Queen, the nose ring. But either way.
Yeah.
I think Camilla is free game, isn't she? Is she not free game for any comedic joke?
I mean, don't know. Maybe on this side of the pond.
Do you remember who was remember that presidential race or that debate when the guy says, "You are no John Kennedy"? Remember that one? Wasn't it? It was the vice presidential debate for Bush 1. Yeah, and he made reference to John Kennedy in his speech, and the other old guy goes, "Dude, you are not John Kennedy." Well, I would say to Camilla, you are not Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And you will, I'm sorry, sister, but you will never be. Chilly. You are, he is not dumb. Isn't that terrible? Correct. My biggest problem with my staff is I am constantly correcting their saying things like, "Oh, I'm so stupid," or, "Oh, I'm really dumb," or if you start
Notice
saying that yourself.
He never objects to me saying the fat man.
Well, the truth is truth.
Of course.
You're the one who says that. I don't say that about you.
We're going to have fun in Alaska.
We are.
So I'm on. Okay, I'm going to throw this out. Would you please tell people what you're trying to talk me into?
Me?
And why?
Me?
And how much I think that's
you mean
a good idea.
You mean the 4 wheels?
Yeah.
Okay, folks, I've traveled a lot, and I have a couple of friends, a gal down in Tucson and others, that have those aluminum, kind of like wheelchairs, but they're not with the big wheels on the back. They've got about a 12-inch hard wheel on the back and then the typical rollator in the front. And they've got lithium batteries that slide down the sides. So, because you can't put lithium batteries in the hold of the plane, so you get to the plane door and you slide them out and you can take them in the cabin, because first of all, they probably won't get hot and catch fire because they're not with other things. They're just laying out open. But if they do, I don't know if you know, but they have buckets now for water on the plane. And if your lithium cell phone starts smoking, they just put it in water. That's the fix for it immediately. Just dump it into water. But so a little bit joking, a little bit serious, because, I've been in airplanes where we have put out fires in an airplane with our urine. Seriously, I've actually had that experience. And, so I guess that would work for your cell phone too, grab a cup and pee it out. So, which is why you should always be on the airplane with a full bladder. You should never completely empty your bladder, because you never know when you might have to put out a fire. But anyway, it was Lloyd Benson, who I respect as a human being. I don't always agree with his politics, but I think Lloyd Benson was a good old guy. And Dan Quayle was the one who made the JFK Association. He goes, I'm sorry, Mr. Quayle, but you are no John F. Kennedy. So that's exactly. Here, I got to throw this up. First of all, JFK. Oh, JK. Yeah, he said JKF, but Nikki is dyslexic today. It's okay. She's talking through the mask, so it's all right. It's all right. But here, exactly what we do. was Cindy's Airhawk chair. Yeah, you remove the batteries and take them inside the plane.
Yeah.
And I think Chile should have one of those. So like when we land in Alaska, remember we're going in for this fun trip that we've got coming up. Make sure you hit the links, and we'd love to have you join us. Matter of fact, even if you don't book with us, you're still going to be part of our solo group on the ship. We're going to just have a party. It's going to be great. We're going to have a picture of what was his name again? The Italian guy?
Martin.
We're going to have a picture of Martin, and so it'll be the three amigos, and it'll be fun. But
and we're going to throw darts at the picture of Martin.
Well, I hope they're at the picture and not the other. Not. But
yeah,
the thing is, if Chile had one of these, then we can go, because Anchorage is claiming to be uber accessible.
Yeah.
For rollators and wheels and everything. Every bus has a roll on, roll off. All the museums that I've found that I want to go to are all claiming to be totally handy. And we're going to, of course, document this. This is what we're doing. We're out seeking. And, if Anchorage is as good as they claim that it is, it should be a destination for folks that are wheel bound in some way. And
now,
so,
folks, this is not to take place of my scooter.
No.
This is
other
would
stuff.
take place of my rollator that I travel with as insurance in case I get stuck someplace. But
this way he can get out of the Uber or the taxi, get right in his chair and wheel into the airport. Doesn't have to wait for a wheelchair. Still will get assistance. Somebody will be, unless I'm there or whatever, but somebody will be with him the whole way, but he's in control of his own chair. And then if they leave him and it's a 40-minute wait, he can run to the bathroom. He can run and get a bagel. He can,
Yeah, and not be stuck, literally stuck for hours. Which I went through with.
And you've had that experience. So anyway, but the idea is then on the boat he's going to get the scooter that he needs, because that's his broadcast. That's his broadcast platform.
Yeah.
So and plus he does a little dance on it. It's pretty neat. So
I have been known to get on the dance floor on my scooter and dance with folks.
How you do it on two wheels, though, I'll never understand that. How you can.
That's also why I have flipped scooters before, but we needn't go there.
Needn't.
And you, of course, would have to bring up the No Name Bar Association with me flipping over on my head. And Elizabeth almost had a heart attack.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
She witnessed that and was so dumbstruck she couldn't even get her damn phone out to take a picture of me in the sand with the scooter on top of my head and the battery buried. It was a scene.
Okay, Tom is saying, was Dan Quayle the one that said Pearl Harbor Day was September 7th? I don't remember that. Up here we celebrate Pearl Olson Day.
Pearl Olson?
Yeah, that's the day
that makes the pies?
Well, that'd be her second cousin.
Oh, okay.
And but that's the day that all the German farmers that want a wife go and serenade Pearl Olson outside of her second-story bedroom window. And so we have Pearl Olson Day here, but yeah.
You Norse folks are kind of kinky, aren't you?
Hey, you come here and live in this snow hell for a couple of weeks, and you'll see that what we're doing is just called survival, man. It's just
while you're supposed to have another snowstorm.
Yes.
In the middle of the week, it's supposed to be in the 80s here.
I just don't know what that means.
So,
I
plan to spend some time out and about. I haven't been out of the house yet, but I'm going to go that way.
Take a look at this. This is the 10-day forecast for what's coming up. Now, right here, this is tomorrow night, and there's going to be kind of a little bit of enough of a blizzard that Ronnie and Heidi are going to stay in town in case the baby should decide it's the time. But look at this. This is the 5th. This is the 5th of April. And look across here. They're talking 6.6 inches of snow next Tuesday, 4.2 inches next Wednesday, 11 inches of snow coming on the 4th and the 5th of April right here. Can you believe that? I mean, I just can't believe that.
You know, if I had been a little more energetic, I would have gone outside and picked some daffodils and had some live daffodils on my desk today.
Except you know what I'd have told you could do with those daffodils.
Would be something in the same vicinity of Amigo Martin and the Dart.
Vicinity. I love that word. But we had the best English word of the day already, and it slipped right by. Was it like you needn't? Yes. Earlier you said you needn't. What a great English word that is. I have
Yes.
never heard that word used in America except by people who think they're English or something like you.
I
mean,
think I'm
who would say we needn't do that? That's like Mary
I don't
Poppins
know.
ish.
I
Very
never
Mary.
know where stuff comes from, and it just kind of flows. You know, I mean,
Okay,
hell,
so
the
what's it?
longer I'm around you, the worse it gets.
Kenneth is asking the cabins for the group cruise to Alaska are all no, they are not. People are buying balconies. People are buying insides. There was a lot. I don't know what's available right now in the inventory, but there was a lot of what they said are partially obstructed picture windows. I just happened to, at the right moment, ended up in 419, which is actually on the 8th floor. They have a weird cab. To me, you would
Weird
be
numbering
like
system.
8419. You're on the 8th floor, but they don't do it that way. But I'm on the 8th deck. Somebody's going to correct me. So I am on the 8th deck. And but in 419, and I am totally not blocked. I will have a picture window view of the starboard side of the ship. Which, if you know, when they're doing the glaciers, it doesn't matter which side of the ship you're on because they slowly turn the ship, like they pivot it on its axis. And then coming down the inside passage, I'll have the outside views too because it will be to the west. So it will be morning views, but Chili's up at 6 a.m. So I'll be down there.
Early.
By the way, that'll be a standing thing, folks, on our cruise. Will be the 6 a.m. Maybe breakfast, maybe personal served buffet, maybe personal served. But we will start our togetherness at 6 o'clock in the morning. You can go off and sleep again. You can go on a excursion, whatever you want to do. But we will always have the 6 o'clock fellowship hour of the crazy cruisers, and
Yeah.
you are just invited. It should be
And
so much
somebody
fun.
wants a cup of coffee, fine. Somebody wants breakfast, fine.
All fine.
Somebody wants to stick around for me to do my show, fine. Because
Or
that's
if you want
also
to,
going to be close to my showtime.
if you want a double bourbon, fine.
Well, we can probably do that too.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't have a drinks package, and I think I'm going to stay with that because I'm weak, and I'm really working hard to not take any more alcohol in my life. And that's not any addiction
Yep.
thing. It's just that when I had my last surgery, and the surgeon said he asked about my drinking habits. I said at the time I haven't had a drink in 3 years, and he goes, "You do know that when I get in there, I will know. Any amount of alcohol changes how your liver looks." And so, Chili, your liver actually looks like a calypso dancer in
Yeah,
Tijuana.
it's got the clickers.
Little clickers even.
Yeah.
But so then I had the surgery, and of course, you know how they always come around a couple 3 hours later after you're in your room and everything. And I just smiled at him and I said, "Well," and he goes, "You don't know how many people lie to me," but he said, "You're right. Your liver is absolutely baby-like." And I'm working on keeping it that way because as I'm getting older, just right now we're putting my friend Bob in the nursing home, and it's a wonderful nursing home, but it's still a nursing home. And any months, weeks, or years I can avoid ending up there are gifts. But anyway, the group cabins are spread throughout the ship because like solo balconies were $3,000 and some dollars, but my solo
The last I heard, there's still two available
two balconies, yeah. And I think because they're to me that's high priced, but why do you need? It's an Alaska cruise. I don't know that I'm not bringing a big jacket to sit out on the balcony because even in August it's going to be brisk outside.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
It'll be cool, brisk.
Yeah.
I mean, in Minnesota we call it put on a t-shirt weather. So,
Yeah.
so everybody will be
John
everywhere.
sits around naked all the time when it's 45 below zero.
Folks, I just don't have a shirt on sometimes when he calls with no notice on a video call. So,
Well, it looks to me, from what I can see, that John's naked. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Yes, it was the vice president that had that. Not entirely his fault, though. You gotta give it to him that. Because how do you spell potatoes? Chili, do you know how to spell potatoes?
Of course, I know how to spell potato.
How do you spell potatoes?
P-O-T-O-T-O-T-O.
It's on the screen. Look at your dang screen.
Oh,
yeah. But potatoes is O-E-S.
Yeah.
And so, it's a logical thing to take the S off and spell it the other way. So I don't hold that against him. I really don't. And I think he was a genuinely honorable guy. So, but it gave us some fun stuff. Which one is the greenie who's always using his private jet? Well, that's quite a few of those big shows. I mean, Tom Cruise is on a private jet all the time. Leo DiCaprio is on a private jet, and he's one of the greenie people, as you say. I don't know if I have a problem with that.
I was on a private jet once.
Yes, yeah. Cleaning? Were you the cleaning crew, or were you?
No, I walked up the steps and looked inside to see what it smelled like, and they threw me off.
Oh, yeah. So. It's Cruise Life is leaving us. Oh, no, Mr. Bill.
You guys are too funny. We'll catch up with you.
Thank you.
The rest of the show.
Thank you. Actually, we are. There's. You don't understand that there's actually white noise going on under our show, and it's actually brainwashing the people that are listening, and
yes.
And we go to the bank and we just get free money. They send us free money, and you see, I'm telling you that because you're saying, well, if he was really doing that, he would never tell us. So now they don't believe it. See, but that's exactly what we're doing. So
we're brainwashing Hot Air Tom.
Yep.
So Cindy sends us her checkbook.
Well, the vice president Greenie isn't. I thought that was the Tennessee guy. Isn't that the guy who invented the internet? Isn't he a VP Greenie? I don't know, Tom. I'm not sure. I'm having fun.
That would have been Mr. Gore.
Yes, Alfred Gore.
Alfred Gore.
Yes.
His name wasn't Alfred.
Well, if his name was Al, his name was Alfred.
Well, not necessarily.
What is Al Gore's Gore's full name? Albert. He's Albert Arnold. Oh, he's a double A. Albert Arnold.
Albert Arnold
Gore
Jr.
Jr. Yeah.
Wow.
How much do you think he's worth?
$17.56.
I can tell you that no matter what the number is going to be, it's more than that. Actually, it's a 300 followed by the word
zeros.
Million. Yeah, he's worth 300 million.
Yeah. Do you think we can get him to send me I just want a half. If he could send me a half, I could live very comfortably for a few months.
Who made the Pearl Harbor guffaw? No, that's not it. Who made the Pearl Harbor mistake in the debates?
Ooh.
Nope, not coming up. Not coming up. Pearl Harbor, known as Japan's biggest mistake, and well, we know that, of course. So do you think that the American president was in the know and he knew that they were coming at Pearl Harbor and they didn't do anything because they didn't dare tip the fact that we actually were interpreting and or listening in and interpreting their communications? What do you think?
I don't know.
Could you do that if you were the president and it was really important that we were breaking into and hearing the enemy's communications, but because of what you heard, you could take action and save thousands of people's lives, but you would tip your hand to the other side that we were listening? Could you do it? I couldn't. I can tell you that I would fall apart. I do not have that kind of fortitude.
I try never to talk about politics from a
But this isn't politics. This isn't picking one side or the other. This is a moral conundrum, actually.
Well, it's a moral conundrum, but to me, it's a political conundrum as well, because I am very much anti-war.
Oh, I hope so. I am too. But there again, that's that same moral conundrum. Do you send 10,000 men who maybe will lose their life to stop a whole bigger million-person loss? Could we have stopped World War II before it got out of hand like it did? I mean, it just was, and I don't know the answer. I'm the question guy. But
I don't know.
The most famous line about that is from MASH. You watched MASH when you were the TV show?
That was one of my favorite shows.
And who was there was a couple of different bosses in MASH, but who was Harry, the little guy, Harry
Morgan?
Yes. And one of his lines was, there are 2 rules of war. Young men will get killed. And the number 2 rule is doctors can't do anything about it. Because the doctors in that show were just so upset that they were losing more than they were saving. And that was, I've always remembered that line. And, so I love that show.
Yeah, I like
it. Google says it was the Vice President George Bush. So that would be Bush 1 then, actually, when he was.
Yeah, Bush 1, who was also a CIA guy.
Yep.
So
another favorite line, you just tipped on CIA. Who was it? Was it Cheney that says, there's the things that we know, and there's the things that we don't know, and then there's the things we know we don't know, but the real thing that we worried about is the things that we don't know that we don't know. And if you take that all apart, it's just amazing. But, it's just like, wow, this is the kind of games these people, and I don't mean game as in game, but I mean, this is the methodology that people who are trying to keep us in a peaceful world are living in all the time.
All the time, yeah.
All the time.
And that's not a political statement. I'm sorry, that's either side, despite what some people want to claim.
There was a movie, 20 years ago now, and I can't think. It started with an R, not Reformation, but something. It was about a president who was traveling, and he couldn't get to Air Force One because of a snowstorm, so they pulled into a diner. And all of the crew and everybody took over the diner, but there was the other people that were stormed in there too. And while that happened, a Middle East emergency happened, and they had to call for, like ballistic missiles. But the president knew something that everybody else didn't know, is that they had secretly been a part of supplying the other side with ballistic missiles a few years ago, and they were defective. They didn't work. They knew that they wouldn't blow up when they landed, but they're coming at the United States. And literally, he's the only one in the group that, knows this, him and the French president. He talks to the French president. But so the people in the diner are hearing this because it's one room they're all in, and because of the storm. And of course, and to the point that the cook gets out a gun and tries to kill the president because he's letting these bombs come toward America. And only when they landed as duds then is it the big news that, well, yeah, we knew about that for 5 years. We supplied them we helped them get bombs. But it was, and the other part of it is the president was Jewish, and the bombs were heading toward Israel. So it was the Arab Jewish. It's a great, great movie, and I'm sure one of our listeners is going to, not Reformation, I think it's a word that starts with an R. I will have it for the next. I'm telling you, it's a must see movie because it really, it's suspenseful, it's well written, and it really asks and answers a bunch of these questions. So.
And by the way, folks, I do have to at least say that our thoughts are with all the folks over in the Philippines.
Amen.
There was a fire last night on a ferry, and a number of people were killed. They were still working on rescue operations, literally just before the show. And there were still, I think it was 7 people were still unaccounted for.
The thing that was interesting about the news article that I heard it about 5 o'clock in the morning on the radio, and it said that the crew got off safely. And it was like, wait a minute, how? I mean, I thought that the crew's job was to, open
Take
every
care of the
door, and conceptually, I would expect that if there was some loss, at least a significant portion of that loss would be in the crew. That's kind of the contract that we make when we go on a ship. I'm trusting that you're going to do everything you can to save my life on an airplane. That seems to me that the workers on an airplane should be the last ones off. Yeah. Unless you just absolutely can't save somebody. I mean, if somebody is trapped or, you shouldn't die because, that way. But otherwise, it seems to me that that's a little bit of the contract that we make when we go in these things. And so that was weird to me that the crew got off, but yet 28 people or so died. Yeah. Sad for me, yes.
Yeah. And it was another, there have been several ferry fires lately.
Mostly because they're not inspected like, cruise ships are so inspected and so trained. And the ferries that run between islands in some of these places it's just amazing that the engine runs the whole way, Nikki was saying we had broken the diplomatic code, but not the Japanese naval code. But wasn't that the deal, though, Nikki, is that if he'd have tipped his hat, we'd have let them know that we were listening in on things that they thought were secret. So yeah.
Well, we're getting up about to the time where you have to go get your store open.
It is, and it's going to be an interesting week. I hope, folks, that by our meeting next week, I will be able to tell you that there is a new Reitmeyer baby. Yes. Of course, it's all happening in God's time, and so whatever, we're just praying that it's safe and healthy, and mother and child will be doing wonderful. But it kind of should happen now in this week, so.
Yep, it should.
Exciting.
So, and hopefully we'll have maybe some more information on the upcoming cruise.
Oh,
in
I
August.
hope so.
So I'm hoping that Nate will be on my show tomorrow.
Good.
We're going to get back to work on the cruise again.
And bring your darts, because there will be a Martin dart board. So, and we're going to pin it on Chili's back because it's the flattest surface we got. So we'll put the dart. So you got to make sure you at least can get the darts in the circle. So
that's one of your horrible ideas, John. Absolutely horrible.
Well, no, because then you can be on your scoot around. You see, you can on your back, and you'll be on the scoot around, so you can be, you're moving, and we got to
in front of those damn darts.
We got to hit it, and always remember when you let the dart go, you got to put a little spin on it at the end, so it goes true. So yeah.
Bad idea. That's it for today, guys. We'll see everybody next time on the Cruise Amigos Live. Y'all have a great week. Thanks for being with us.
Yes, Kevin Pollack and Deference. I don't know if you can bring darts on a ship, but tell them it's toothpicks. We'll see you all next week.